Well, today I thought I'd record another, recording a tutorial basically on how to install a fresh mod list with MCO and all that stuff. I've been all around different mod lists, and one thing I found is that if I want a good MCO mod list, I have to have a mod list that has a ton of different editions that can make it really hard to play on like medium hardware, I guess. It's kind of funny because when I bought a 3060, I didn't think like I was gonna be like playing. I didn't think it was gonna be like medium hardware, but now I'm realizing that if I wanted to play some of these mod lists and get at least like 60 frames, I should have gotten like a 3070 or a 3080, and it's like, okay, I'm playing on 1080p. I'm not even trying to like play like 1440 or 4K. Like I'm every other game I play, I can play ultra settings, and it's just fun. But Skyrim's a totally different beast. So obviously, there's that problem, and there are some lists for Skyrim that have the whole MCO package, but without the graphics suite, and I I have some problems with those lists personally, but which is why I decided to create my own. And I've created my own list before, but I thought I'd redo it because I don't know. I just feel like redoing it. So I'm gonna record it this time because usually I do all this stuff. I don't record any of it, but this time I decided to record. So the first thing you do is you download Mod Organizer 2. Now, well, actually, no. First thing I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to go to my SSD right here, and I'm going to be setting up a folder. So I'm going to be calling this custom game. So it's going to be custom game. Now this is where the magic is going to happen, right here. So before I do anything, I'm going to create a game root file. So this is pretty much a stock game type of thing here. So if I go into my SSD and I go into Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim, this is everything as it should be from the get-go. Nothing is changed, nothing is added, there's no extra files here. This is just Skyrim and all of its... It's about 18 gigs with all the Creation Club stuff, all the Anniversary Edition stuff here. I'm basically just going to do Control Copy, and I'm going to paste it right here in Game Root, and it's going to load everything. This is to ensure that for this mod list, everything is going to be set up within this custom game folder, and it's not going to be pulling files from anywhere else. Everything is going to be in my control. Now, I already have a MO2 thing here, but you can just download it from Nexus or GitHub or wherever you want to download it. I'm going to install it right now. So you just do yes, and then I accept, and then I'm going to put this right here. So F custom game, just like that. Next, doesn't matter, next, install. So it's going to install around this basically. So here's all our files. You'll start to notice that this is going to start looking like a Wabbajack list. If you've ever played a Wabbajack list, I actually thought about doing something like this for Skyrim Modding Essentials, but I don't know. I personally like doing everything myself, like setting everything up and choosing what mods to install, etc. So I could do Skyrim Modding Essentials, but I'd prefer to do it myself. So, all right, now that this is all set up, we got game root right here. I'm going to select MO2, and it's going to ask to create a new instance. I'm going to go to portable. You want a portable instance. You do not want it in app data, because that's on a completely different drive. You want everything you're doing on the same drive, and you want Skyrim to be on the drive that you're working with. So C drive is not that. So you want an F drive. Now this is a mod list, and my Steam directory isn't even on here. You're going to have to go to Browse, and then it's already selected, Game Root, and then select folder. So that's going to set everything here on your game root. So you do Next. I don't connect to Nexus personally, but that's because I do all of my downloading. I do all manual downloads, and I store everything that I download in a folder so it's all organized and stuff. I never do this. So let's just do finish. And now I don't care. So now we have all this stuff. I don't really care for the Anniversary Edition stuff, so I'm just gonna delete it. So if you go into game roots, data, I'm gonna delete everything here that's related to the Christian Club, so delete. But we still do need a few files. We do need these files here. So these are the files that are required by mods like unofficial Skyrim patch. If you want the latest version, there are versions you can get, you could still download. See, now it's showing this is proper. There are versions you can get where you don't need any Christian Club stuff, but if you're using the latest game version, it will come with these regardless of if you've bought the full Anniversary Edition upgrade. So if you want to use something like the new unofficial Skyrim patch, you need to have these files. Yeah. So the next thing I usually do, and you can check here, you see everything is F game root. So that's how you know that it's what you've selected. So I'm going to be installing Root Builder, which is a fantastic tool that basically allows you to everything has become so streamlined now. Like with this process, you can just install everything where you want it, and you don't have to touch the original installer at all. Like you don't have to touch the original game folder. So this tool right here is called Root Builder, and what you do is you extract it into the plugins folder here, and then when you restart Mod Organizer, you're going to see here Root Builder is active. So when you want to install stuff like ENB or Skyrim Script Extender, you would just need to create an empty mod, SKSC, ignore missing data, open, and then do root, and then put the stuff that you'd normally drop in the Skyrim install, you'd put them here, and then it would just work. Now I'm not going to do that because I already have it. I already have it zipped up for a new install, so I don't need to do any of this. But Root Builder is now installed. Now I'm going to install Christian Kit, which is a great tool that you should use. Even if you are familiar with XEdit, you should use the Christian Kit because there's several things that you can do in the Christian Kit that you can't do in XEdit. So I'm going to X out of here again. And I already have everything backed up right here. Now, normally if you'd want to do this, you have to install Christian Kit through Steam, but I already know where all the files are, what they are, so these are the Christian Kit files right here. So you got Lex, you got Papyrus Compiler, you got Tools, and then you got these files here. Custom Game. I'm going to go to Game Root, and I'm going to extract these to Game Root, just like that. And then Christian Kit Fixes. With the new Christian Kit Fixes update for Anniversary Edition, I'm going to drag these into here. And now that's finished, and when I open this back up here, you can see that Christian Kit is right there. Now I go to Edit, And I'm going to open up this little thing here. And then I'm going to do overwrite Steam ID and paste it right there like that. And now when you run CreationKit, everything should work perfectly. So this is everything that I have installed right here. I'm going to X out of that and X out of this. And if this doesn't close, oh, it does. Okay, never mind. Sometimes it doesn't close, and then you have to go into Task Manager and close it. But it closed, so I don't have to do that. So this is CreationKit, and the good thing about, oh, and see, this shows up in root if you use CreationKit, but that's fine. The good thing about using the game root folder is, or the stock game folder, is that if you're using tools like CreationKit, you don't have to, they won't show up in overwrite like if you don't have game root and you just used root builder. That is a problem that happens when you don't use stuff like game root, but we're using that, so it's all good. So now is basically the time for you to craft your mod list, and I'm going to skip right over E and B. I'm going to skip over, you know, stuff like, I'm just going to get right into the root of it, basically, and show you how to install MCO and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to be cheating a little bit by installing movesets that are pre-made and taken from a completely different and outdated mod list, but I like these movesets, so I'm going to be taking everything from here, this Project Rainforest. As you see, I have a ton of different, this isn't even all of my downloads for Skyrim, I have a whole bunch more, but this is for an Anniversary Edition game, so everything here will work for Anniversary Edition. Now, this is all my modern combat stuff. You got MCO and DMCO, and you got this stuff. I'm going to be installing all of it. Now, if you want, I'm going to see, so ADXP. I'm going to go to the Skyrim Guild website so you can see the requirements for MCO. So here are the requirements. So you need Nemesis, you need Dynamic Animation Replacer, or Open Animation Replacer, which was just released. I've tested both, and both work fine, I think. Well, that's not entirely true. I've tested the Patreon-only test builds of Open Animation Replacer, but I haven't quite tested the release version on this, so it may or may, we'll see. You need Animation Motion Revolution, Payload Interpreter, MCO Universal Support. That's only if you use certain versions you need this, and then One-Click Power Attack, which has been updated for Anniversary Edition. So you don't need these. I don't recommend, especially this one. I don't recommend this one. And if you use controller, I recommend One-Click Power Attack, which I'm going to install. So it's important when doing this that you utilize separators, otherwise your list is going to look completely bad. So I'm going to call this Modern Combat. Now, the stuff I'm installing here, it currently does not have the requirements, but we'll be installing those along the way. So I'm going to choose AMCO here. Install it. I'm going to choose DMCO. This is a mod that you can no longer get, although I do think that the new DMCO comes with, it's on the same website as this one, and I believe it has the new DLL with it, but I like using the DMCO version 0.9.6 instead of 0.9.8 because 0.9.8 has issues with controller that I don't really understand. But I'm going to install One-Click Power Attack NG. I'll skip poise this time and just go for scar because we don't really need poise, but you know, I'm gonna install. I'm not gonna click this because we have animations we want to use, and then I'm gonna click scar AE support, and this is all of our modern combat stuff. Now I'm gonna be installing stuff from utility, so everything runs properly. And let me move this to my other window here so I can see what I'm going to be installing here. So when I go to utility, first thing I want, okay, Nemesis. Nemesis is right here. So here is Nemesis. You could just install like any other mod, dynamic animation replacer. So let's install that. I like to make everything neat, however, so let's do that. Animation motion revolution, payload interpreter, and we don't need the MCO universal support, so we're good on that. However, we will need, I believe, address library, which is, where is that? Is that not in utility? Or is it? Oh, it's in essentials, isn't it? Yes, here it is. This is SKSE. So let me just keep with the theme here. Now this is something that you normally can't install like this, but as you can see, I've separated everything into scripts, which is a recognizable format for these installation, and root, which MO2 doesn't recognize, which you'll sometimes see as missing data. So here's all the SKSE stuff for 1.6, and we need this file here, which is address library. So I'm going to install this, enable it, and now when I go here, I can go to mods and SKSE root. I'm going to click this and apply OK. So now when I start the game, I'll be starting it from here. Here is Nemesis, star, animation motion revolution, and payload interpreter. I'm going to do the same thing with Nemesis. What just happened? No, I'm going to do add from file, Nemesis engine, and then this. And I'm also going to be doing output Nemesis output. It's important that you do this if you don't want your overwrite folder to be filled with a bunch of junk that can later be very difficult to clean out, or yeah. So I'm going to do create files in here instead of overwrite, and Nemesis output, just like that. I didn't need to copy and paste anything. I honestly forgot what I was doing, but you just need to select it from the menu here. So now when I run Nemesis, it will be in this folder here. I'm going to select attack MCO, DMCO, which comes with these, this, which overwrites that, one-click power attack NG, scar, and scar AE support. Now all these files here, these ESLs will go up there, and these will go here. Now there shouldn't be anything in those that are conflicting, but if you want to check just to make sure, then you need to download loot, which is this right here. And when you have that downloaded, you go into your custom game folder, create a folder called tools, and then you drag this over here. So I'm going to drag loot. I'm also going to drag XEdit. So these are pretty important in determining load order and conflicting mods. So now I'm going to, oh, it's already running. Okay, just redo this. And it is not there, so I need to get it. So let's go into Tools, Loot, Add from File, XEdit, and I'm actually going to hide these because I'm not using them. I'm going to move this up and call it SKSE. There. So now you just see what we want to see. XEdit should run in this, although it doesn't seem to want to. Oh boy. See, this can sometimes happen if you have multiple. I have to choose start in game root here. And then that should do it, I believe. Nope, didn't do it that time. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, we are going to cheat a little bit by launching this mod list and seeing what it does for its XEdit install here. Alright. Okay, so it uses an argument here, which are pretty useful files. I'm just going to grab this from there, and I'm going to go back to my custom game and launch Mod Organizer 2, because you can't have two open at the same time. I'm going to go here, I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to replace this with that. So here is custom game, game root, data, I know what I'm doing, and get rid of this. Apply, okay. And then relaunch it, and hey, what do you know, it worked. See, I wasn't honestly sure if that would work, but hey, it did, okay. Now, I actually forgot a step here, which is creating a XEdit output, but for the sake of this, I can just move the files later on, so it doesn't really matter. I could just do it later, but normally you'd want to create an output for each of these programs that you're launching. So I'm going to wait for this to finish. It takes some time, usually. The first startup takes quite a bit of time, and then when you load it after, it should only take like 10-20 seconds. It depends on how many mods you have installed. If you have a lot of mods, then it's going to take a lot longer. But if you don't have a lot of mods, then it really shouldn't be taking all that long. So we're going to wait for that. Oh, I think I forgot to install iframe generator, which I think is required by DMCO. Yeah, okay, it's finished. Alright, so now if I want to see what is included in these files, I just have to hold Alt and double click. So these are all new records, so you can tell because it says FE and then 004, which is this, and it's not green. If it was green, then it would be overwriting a vanilla file. DMCO, which is also all new records here, 08. Attack MCO, you see red here, but that's fine because it's just overwriting update and dawn guard, which they don't matter. Dodge framework, just one record, and then one click power attack, which is all good. So you see everything here is fine. You don't need anything here. So I'm gonna install well, it's finished. Okay, I'm going to install iframe generator from that right there. I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to go into overwrite, and you see we already have some stuff here. So this is XEdit cache. This is what's going to prevent XEdit from taking so long. So I'm going to create, not a separator, an empty mod called XEdit output. I'm going to enable it and open it here. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it there, and then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to select this, XEdit output. Is this? Oh, it's fine, never mind. I thought there was, and then when I reload this, oh, it's still saying, okay, ignore missing data, there we go. Alright, now I'm going to run Nemesis and show you how to install MCO. Now, before I do that, I should talk about movesets. When you install a new moveset, you do not need to run Nemesis. Nemesis is only for these files here and payload interpreter, but you won't need to redo Nemesis each time you install a new moveset. So I'm going to run Nemesis. It will tell me this, which just ignore it because this is a first time startup, so it needs to create those files. So I'm going to click Attack MCO. I'm going to click Dodge MCO, which is that right there. Payload interpreter, SCAR. Now I don't have true directional movement installed, which I should install that because MCO kind of behaves funny if you don't have true directional movement installed. So I'm going to install it right here, and I'm going to call this separator modern combat animation. There it is, true directional movement. And I'm going to move this up here. So you got modern combat animation. Luckily right now nothing's overriding, so, well, these are overriding, but nothing between categories is overriding. So I'm going to relaunch Nemesis, and now you see the error is gone because everything is being stored right here. So I'm going to click true directional movement, 1, 2, 3. So we got SCAR, true directional movement, we have payload interpreter, dodge, and MCO. So I'm going to click update engine. And you have to update engine each time you run Nemesis, otherwise there will be problems. You also have to make sure that you have Windows Update enabled. If you have Windows Update disabled, or it's like, there are ways to disable Windows Update, and if you have Windows Update blocked, this will not work. So you need to have that. So I'm going to click Launch Nemesis Behavior Engine, and it will start generating animations here. Now, I got 646 animations, and luckily, hopefully we'll have no errors. Good, we have no errors. Sometimes you might get an error here. If you do, you might have to run this twice, so you might have to X out of here and then reload it and then run it again. Right now we have nothing here, so that's good. So when I X out of this, and you go here, Nemesis output, you'll see that we now have some generated stuff here. So this is important. Now, this MCO does nothing on its own, so you have to install movesets. Now, I said earlier that I was going to be cheating a little bit, and that is true. So I'm going to be installing movesets from the modlist Arisen. Now, Arisen, whatever it is, it's kind of dead. It hasn't been updated in a while, so it's kind of obsolete now. You could still download it, but it's a little buggy, and there's no official support for it, so I don't really recommend doing that. But these files are pulled from that, so if I do enable, suddenly now there's animations in the game. And because of how many animations there are, you should also install animation queue fix, which helps with loading all those animations. So now it's time to go into the game and test this. Now hopefully I will have not forgotten anything, but if I did, the game will tell me. So I'm gonna click run. What do you know? It ran perfectly. Okay. Nice. Now I'm gonna just check here to ensure. Is this... There we go, okay. No? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna do cock river wood. Just like that. Sorry, my OBS wasn't capturing game stuff. So I'm going to turn down some of these effects here because I'm recording and I want my voice to be heard over the game. So if I go here, now you can see I'm not T-posing, which is good. If I was T-posing, that would mean that I did something wrong and I installed something that was not. So you can see here that true directional movement is working. Now if I attack here, so if I do, that is the MCO attack. So that is the moveset for the one-handed axe. I don't know what that sound is. I think it's fireworks or something. I don't know. So this is the attack. And then this is the dodge animation. So now you can see everything is working perfectly. But Skyrim looks like Skyrim. It's not very pretty. It is definitely not very pretty because there's no ENB, there's no texture replacers. This is just, there's not even unofficial Skyrim patch. There's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing. It's just bare bones, right? There's no Adamant. There's no, I don't even have Sky UI installed. It's just nothing. So I'm gonna do QQQ exit. That exits the game, brings me back to the desktop. So everything here worked. Everything was all good. Now, there were some corrections that, things that I forgot to install, like, smooth a random blocking animation, which, this is very important for dual-wield blocking. I think I also forgot, where is it? I have one-click power attack, but there is another mod here that I forgot. Is it under presets? Dual-wield pairing. Where is dual-wield pairing in this? Because I need that for this. Is it in gameplay core? No, it's... Where is it? Where is dual-wield pair? Where is this? It's in modern... Oh, it's in... Okay, it's in modern... See, sometimes I even confuse myself. Okay, so it's in modern combat gameplay. Now, this is where you'd find stuff like Precision, Valhalla Combat. This is stuff that I would be installing if I wanted to make this like a real experience, which I should install these, obviously. Sure, why not? Okay, let's install these mods. I'm not going to be installing all of them, but I'll be installing most of them. So let's add this separator. So this is Modern Combat Gameplay. So we got dual-wield pairing, Elden Sprint, so I don't run out of stamina out of combat. No kill moves, because I don't like kill moves. Precision, which does need Nemesis to be rerun. And then Valhalla Combat, because I like what it does to combat. So these are all files that need to be... Valhalla Combat, what is it missing? MCM Helper, of course. Okay. So I need MCM Helper, which goes in Utility. See, now it's starting to get populated here. So now we got... Wait. Sky UI. Oh, of course. Okay. See, now it's starting to get complicated. So I need to install Sky UI. which is a UI mod. So there we go. Now we have Sky UI. Now everything here is golden. But I need some of my presets, because presets are very important. So I'm going to be installing this dual wield pairing settings preset that I already installed for my... I already created it for controller, because I play on controller, and controller you have to do very specific things sometimes. If you ask me in Discord or wherever, I will share the preset, because it can be confusing sometimes. These are my precision settings, which I could also share, I guess. I don't currently have Smooth Cam installed, although I should install it. But for now I won't. So this is going to overwrite that. This is a control map. This is going to be MCM settings, and then this is also going to be MCM settings. So now you can see I have a bunch more mods installed here, and I can go into Nemesis Unlimited Behavior Engine again, and I'm going to select Precision. I'm going to update. I literally just updated, but I'm going to update again, because you never know. Sometimes it just doesn't work if you don't update it. So you gotta initialize the engine update, wait for it to be finished. Make sure you have everything here that you want. Nothing else has been added, just precision. So I'm gonna launch again. It's gonna generate more animations. So I'm guessing 666. Nope, I got 656. Okay. Usually I get 666, but I guess maybe I'm missing a mod or two. I'm not really sure. So let's exit out of that. So now Nemesis has been run. We have a decent amount of mods now. So I'm going to exit out of here. I'm going to go to Custom Game Profiles, Default. Oh, something I forgot to show you. Before I do that, I'm going to go back into Mod Organizer 2. You see I have saves here. Now these saves are from my documents and then my games. I don't want that, so I'm going to go into Profile, Manage, use Profile-Specific Save Games. So now there's no saves here, because all the saves are contained right here. So Default Saves. There we go. I'm going to do Plugins, Load Order. I'm going to delete. I'm going to go back. I'm going to relaunch MO2. I'm going to click Loot and Start Loot. Okay, this seems to be alright. It is having issues. This is something that you might have to do. Go into Settings. Go into Skyrim Special Edition. I don't think this is the right install path. Yes. So let's do Game Root. Save. And let's see if that did it. Sometimes... Oh, it did. Okay. See, sometimes I'm mistaken, which is why I've recorded this entire process. I'm going to do Update Master List, and then I'm going to do Sort Plugins. Now, this isn't perfect. You should always check every single mod you install in XEdit before you go into the game, just to make sure that there's absolutely no conflicts and that you don't need to install any patches. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to check everything again. Now that I've created the XEdit output folder here, now everything that I'm loading in is going into that folder. And see how fast everything loaded. Now everything is done in seconds. So Valhalla Combat, I'm going to check. See, we got, these are green because they're overriding Skyrim. You could see recoil has been disabled. So when you strike an enemy, you strike their shield, your attack will go through, your attack won't be rebounded off. That is one of the features of Valhalla Combat. Everything else is good. True directional movement, let's check that. Everything is good here. We already checked this. Let's check precision. Precision is good, no kill moves. These are all good. MCM helper is all good. It's literally just a blank ESP. There's nothing there. Sky UI, all good. Elden Sprint, all good. So everything is all good. and we reran Nemesis. So now when I go back into the game, there's no save. Awesome. So I got to redo that. Awesome. You should. It doesn't really matter for a test save. If you're doing a real game, then obviously you're going to want to always have a new game when you add and remove mods. But if this is for testing purposes, it really does not matter. So I'm going to start. Hopefully there's no errors. There were no errors. We're in the game. That teleports us to Riverwood and skips the entire intro cutscene. Wow, that is much darker. This is not an ENB. It looks like I'm using some kind of grim ENB or something. I don't know. Alright, so now when I go through here, that was a power attack. Oh. Power attack. Power attack. Power attack. And I just did a... See, you can't really see this in game because you can't see this in... Wait, am I lagging here? I shouldn't be lagging. It looks like it's lagging, but it's not lagging. Okay. You can't really see this because you can't see my controls right now, but I've got the controls remapped to different keys. So B is now dodge, RB is power attack, so I can power attack without being in an attack state. I can normal attack and then power attack, which will do a completely different moveset. And if I want to access stuff like the inventory, which is now SkyUI format, I have to press a different key. So this is... It's obviously not this simple. If you want to install movesets, I can show you a good amount of movesets to download. I'm going to just save first so I don't have to repeat that. Quit. Then I'm going to exit out of this, go back. I'm going to go to Wondanique. I'm going to open up this mod organizer too. Now this is a mod pack that runs pretty poorly on my system. I get maybe 30 to 40 frames depending on the area. You can see it has a ton of mods. Even with the upscaler, I still get pretty bad frames. I mean, it's a good list. It's a lot more stable than it used to be. It's a great list, in fact. I love the visuals, but it just does not run that great on my system. Now, it does use movesets, and unlike Arisen, it doesn't clump them all together. You can actually see what's being used here. So these are all the movesets that Wondanique is using. So it's got a ton of movesets. Not all these are for MCO. I believe these and these Vanguard animations just need DAR. You don't actually need MCO for these. But these, For Honor and Skyrim, these are movesets. You can and these are also movesets. You can see by if you open them up in the Explorer. You go to Meshes, Actors, Character, Animations, DAR, Custom Conditions. These are custom conditions. These are the actual animation files. And you can see that there are a ton of conditions here. These are all custom, possibly set up by, most likely set up by the author of Wondanique. This is one of the advantages of not setting up your own mod list, is you have a mod list author who dedicates a ton of their own time to making sure everything works perfectly. And this is probably really confusing to most people. It's honestly a bit confusing to me. And thankfully, Open Animation Replacer makes this process a lot easier than DAR ever did. So this is a, I assume this adds a weapon type, probably a katana. So if you wanted these katana animations to work with a custom weapon, you'd have to set it in the custom conditions folder, conditions.txt, or do it through Open Animation Replacer. I'm not really too familiar with that mods process, but I think it's a little easier. There should be video. I heard a rumor that Mern is working on a Open Animation Replacer video. I'm not really sure, but it might be out by the time I've published this video. We'll see. But this is basically what you'd have to do if you want to install all of your own movesets. So these are all movesets: Twin Blade, Spear, Rapier. These are weapons that don't exist in the vanilla game. You have to download them through... See, the great thing about MCO is that you can have as many different weapon types and animations for those weapons as you want. Spears are not in Skyrim. It's very weird that there's no spears in Skyrim. Spears were... Spears were very important, and they're just not in Skyrim. They're in the DLC. They're in the... I think those Reekling things use them, but they're barren in Skyrim, which is weird. And then all these different... These are for like one-handed, two-handed weapons, daggers, great swords, battle axes. These are really good animations for Honor and Skyrim. I don't think these are the animations that Arisen uses. I'm actually not sure what animations Arisen uses, because like I said, it clumps them all together, which makes it easy to install, but doesn't really allow me to, recommend them, because I don't know what's in them. So yeah, that's how to install your own custom game. If you wanted to, you could, of course, download a modlist, and even if you can't run it, you could just go into the mods thing. You could just copy and paste. It's your computer. If after you've downloaded this stuff, you can just copy and paste. If you want, you can just, sure, why not? Now, I'll admit, Mod Organizer 2 behaves a little weirdly if you copy and paste into the mods folder. It likes you to do everything inside the interface, so you'd have to create an empty mod and then install the mods that you've copied from another mod list. The reason why I'm saying to do it that way is because you can't technically share these files, because these are files that are I'm not really sure if copyright is the right word, but there's permissions on Nexus that are I'm probably not the right person to explain it, but that's that. And so this is my very simple mod list with only 31 mods and 21 plugins that has a fully working MCO system for the vanilla game with 60 FPS. There's no visuals, there's nothing. It took me 48 minutes to install. And if I wanted to go in and beat the game right now with all this stuff and literally nothing else, I could. No crashes, no freezes, no stutters, nothing. Just pure Skyrim, just working, well, probably not working very well, because I've literally installed 0 bug fixes, but working as well as Skyrim does, I could do that. And that's what I'm trying to show here, and that's what I hope I've demonstrated in this video. Now, obviously, there's so much more to install. It would take me ages to show you everything here. This is a custom mod list that I've worked on. I was just trying to it's based on a tropical Skyrim climate, which is a very weird concept in Skyrim, but I got it working, and it actually performed pretty well. So these are just files that I pulled here. Now, I didn't show the download process. I didn't show any of that. You'd have to do that all on your own. You'd have to go on the Nexus. You'd have to search up this stuff. You'd have to download it. You'd have to find the right version of it. It would take a lot more time. I thankfully have everything download it, I download and keep everything in little folders like this that basically allow me to it's a much simpler process when I have everything. So I have all this stuff, Creation Club, everything just packed away. I have cleaned ESMs that I personally cleaned. I have all these files that I've downloaded. Like, they're just all here. I have notes on these files. I have different versions of these files based on which, I mean, yeah, that's what I recommend doing. I recommend downloading and creating folders. You don't have to create folders within folders. You could just have the files in the folders. Once upon a time, I did folders within folders, and it got very, very OCD, and it got very, very confusing and very, very annoying very fast. So I don't recommend doing that, but I do recommend doing it this way, because having a portable mod organizer 2 set up like this means you can run 2 different mod lists. You could run 5 different mod lists. You can have one of your own that you are creating yourself and managing yourself and adding whatever you want and making sure it runs on your system. And then you can have something awesome like Arisen or Faluan or Wundanik, or just any of the awesome MCO mod lists. Novus. Hell, I don't like the gameplay mechanics of Novus, but it's a good list. It's a great list. It took a lot of work to get it running. So you can have those lists, and then you can have your own list where you can install whatever you want. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do in this video. So thanks for watching.